Hi, this is Gregory Spazzato, and today we're going to talk about players, characters, and complaints. So we're going to start by managing the Zorua campaign, and I'm going to walk you through different things about the players that are important to know. So we'll go and we'll jump to my player profile here. And as you can see, I get three different roles, um, player, host, and admin. And these roles can be configured individually. So I can turn off player, but uh, I can retain my host and admin role if I want. Um, and that's pretty self-explanatory. Um, the one thing that's a little bit murky is the difference between host and admin. So host can create records on the server and manage the records that they've created, but they can't manage records on the server that other users have created. Whereas an admin can create records on the server, manage records they've created, and they could also manage records other users have created. So that distinction is very important. So when we give somebody an admin role, we're giving them a lot more power over the system to do things. So it's very important that we delegate this responsibility very carefully. Um, One thing that hosts can do without admin privileges is actually update player profiles. Um, so, for example, I'm logged in as a host right now, um, and as somebody who's only a host, here I'll show you. Um, so, um, this profile is a player and is a host, but is not an admin. So, as somebody who is just a host, I am able to update or promote other player profiles as needed. So, for example, I could take this profile and I can promote them to admin if I want to. And I can save that. And if I go and I manage, you could see that the change took. Um, so hosts actually do have a lot of power on the system on their own. They just can't modify records that other users on the system have created. They can manage player profiles, though, which is really neat. Another thing to note about players is some of them have a user ID associated with them. So, for example, this particular user here has the user ID 2. And if we go to update that, oh, we can't update that. So as a host, I'm not allowed to update my own player profile because if I could, I would be able to promote myself to admin, which is a huge security hole, and we don't want that. So um, if I needed somebody to change something about my player profile, I would actually need an admin to do it for me. So that's one of the things I can't do as a user account or a player profile. It's just a host, but I can promote others to admin. At least as of now, that could change in the future. Um, but another thing to note is I can create as a host. I can create a campaign player without a problem. So if we had somebody new join the campaign, like John Smith here, I can just add them as a player. Um, and if I want to assign them a user ID, I can, but it's not necessary, especially if they're just a player. They probably won't have a login to the system anyway. A lot of the player records don't have a user ID because they're players that don't access the system directly. We just sort of manage their players for them within this portal, if that makes any sense. Um, so for John Smith here, let's say he's been in the campaign for 3 months, and oops, we forgot to add him 3 months ago. We have to do it now. We can put the last game he played in this box here. Um, let's say it was, I don't know, let's say it was today, I guess, at 11. Um, and then if he hosted any games, we could put that here. If he's just a player, then that's probably going to be 0. And then we could just click save here. And if we scroll down, page 2, oh, that's alphabetical. Oh, it's reverse chronological. So he's right here on top. So I have John Smith here. Um, so John Smith needs some characters, so let's add them. So I'm going to create a campaign character for John Smith. I don't know, what should his name be? Uh, let's pick, yeah, why not? Christopher Columbus. That's fun. All right. So I have to assign Christopher Columbus to a player. So let me find John Smith here. And then Christopher Columbus has a character type. 99% of the time, it's going to be player character. I honestly don't know why I added a non-playable character option, but it is there. For status, it'd be tempting to add the new, which is active. The new doesn't really do anything but cause problems. And then for a description, if they had something cool written on Kanka, uh, we could, you know, put the link to Kanka there, or we can just type a description. This is a really cool character. Either way, if Christopher Columbus has a bastion name, let's see, maybe it's the is it the Mayflower? And then if he had a bastion type, we could put it here. I don't know, training ground. It's just text input in case we add more bastion types. We don't have to worry about adding them to the system. Um, the starting gold. So if Christopher Columbus has been in a game already and has earned more than the default starting gold, we want to put that here. The same thing with the bastion points and the credits. Here, I'll just show you. So in this rules section, we have some defaults here. Basically, assumptions that we make about a new character getting added into the system. So we assume their starting level's 3, that they start with 100 gold, 25 bastion points, and this active limit, it's not really enforced. It's there, but it's not enforced. So just keep that in mind too. So if he just has the 100 starting gold, we can leave this blank. If he played in a game already and we forgot to add him, we could add like however much gold that he earned. But if he has not played in a game yet, we can just leave that blank. Um, same goes with the starting bastion points. If we leave this blank, he's going to get the default starting bastion points, which is 25 according to the rules here. Um, and then starting credit, same thing. If he played in a game that wasn't recorded in Westmarchesgame, we could put starting credit for 1. Otherwise, it's better to just leave it blank. And then finally, first game played. This is really going to be the last game that they played before they were logged inside the Westmarchesgame. Uh, so let's say they played a game on today, or maybe it was a few days ago. Oops, forgot to log the game. forgot to log this character in the game because we never put him in the system. So we could do that there. Otherwise, yeah, just leave it blank. Um, Backspace on my keyboard seems to do that pretty well. All right, and then if we just click save with this information here, it'll add a new character into the system. Right up at the top there. Um, so let's say I need like a spreadsheet of all the characters, what levels they're at, and other information that's easily accessible. I could click this roundup button here, and it creates like a basically almost like a spreadsheet. It's technically a table um, that shows the player, the character name, the games that they've played, their current level, the last game they played in, what hosts they've played with. So right now, this is the only user that's made a game, so they're the only ones. But when other game masters start running games, their usernames will appear in this column, and then um, how whatever number of games that player played under that game master will be represented here. Um, and then at the very last, over all the way to the right here, whenever the record was last updated in Westmarchesgame itself. So, as you just saw, like I just made Christopher Columbus like a minute ago. So that's the accurate timestamp here is like a minute ago. Um, so that's basically it for players and characters. Um, Finally, we're going to go to complaints. And complaints are pretty self-explanatory. If something happens on the server that we need to make a record of, we can do that here. So I'm just gonna make one with you real quick, and we're gonna pick on Ulrich here a little bit. So I'll be the reporting player. Let's say my reporting character is Terra. Um, Ulrich will be the offending player, and we'll just say Torvald. This didn't actually happen. Just full disclosure, I'm just doing this as an example. But this is not real. I'm actually going to delete this afterwards. Um, so I could put something in the note here that says Tara said something, or Torvald said something that Terra didn't like. And then if it happened in a specific game, I could click into here. This becomes a drop down when there's more games logged into the system. That drop down will build the collection of games that we've logged in the system, and then I can just pick the game based on what the game was named. So, for example, like the Tavern Rescue Melodious Muse game could be an option. But there's nothing logged in the system right now, so this is just an empty field. Um, so this looks pretty good. If I wanted to give this a different name, like an easier name to identify it by, I could. Like I could just say, I could just call it, you know, something else. I can't think of a name right now, honestly. But the system generates this name. We don't have to use it. We can literally call it anything. Like Greg was upset with Ulrich. Uh, there we go. So I can save that, and then there we go. And if I need to reference this at a later date, I just come over here, I hit this, and then I can see the note that was left behind. Um, and that's basically it. So we covered a lot of ground today in this video. We covered players, characters, and complaints. Thank you.